Hello, hello. Welcome into the show today. Welcome to Impact Over Attention. I'm your host, Jake Jordan, and I'm a business coach for The Cause Driven. And we meet every Friday and sometimes on Mondays, but every Friday we meet and we talk about how you can make a bigger impact on the things that you're doing in your organization this next week. And today we are doing an AMA, Ask Me Anything, because this one is pre-recorded. So I'm coming to you from the land of, technology. Sometime in the past, it's now looking live, but we're pre-recorded. So I had asked some of my friends, I had asked several of the groups that I'm in, if you could ask me one question about productivity or processes to make things work better, or goal setting or accountability, something like that to keep you on pace to make more impact, what would it be? And I got 3 good questions today. So we're going to go over those one at a time. And in the comments, I would love to hear your question. If you could ask me one question about being more effective with your time, your money, your resources, how do I get more impact? What's one big question that you're wanting to deal with or something that you want to overcome? Put those over in the comments, and I will be back around to answer those. Today, get some other things scheduled, so just wanted to make sure though and get up some stuff for you to look at on a Friday so that y'all can get together and to talk about having a bigger impact this next week. So we're going to start off with the first one from my friend Karen. Karen asked why. Chandra. Chandra asked this one. It wasn't Karen. Karen asked a different one. Chandra asked, why set goals? And this is a good question because, number one, I realize I spend a lot of time talking about goals and systems and processes and getting things done and productivity. And a lot of times to go back to the basic of why do you even set goals? Well, I'm going to throw this one on its head because I'm going to tell you that goals are not the most important thing when it comes to getting things done. It's true. Actually, James Clear has a fantastic book called Atomic Habits. And like I said, James Clear. And he says that goals are just where you start, that systems are how you get things done. So if you have to spend time on something, spend time on the systems, not the goals, because the goals just point you in the direction. But then you have all the time between now and then when you get to the goal that you have to get through. And that's the hard part. So why do we set goals? We set goals so that we know where we're going and we know when we get there. And so many of you may have heard of the acronym for setting goals called SMART goals. It's specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, there's a time bound to it. I'm forgetting what the R is. But the point is when you set a goal, the whole reason you do it is so that you know where you're going to, so you can set up some systems to get there and what it looks like. So when you know that you've reached it. So we set goals to put a vision out of where we need to go to so that we do the right things. In fact, Seneca even has a quote that I had put up this week in my accountability group about sailing ships and how even if you have a big sail and favorable winds, but you don't know where you're headed, then it actually doesn't matter how good the wind is, right? 'Cause it doesn't matter how fast you go and the directions and things like that. It doesn't matter because you know where you're going. When a man does not know what harbor he is making for, no wind is the right wind. That's Seneca. So that's why you set goals. You set goals so that you know where you're going, but you need to really work on the systems. Okay. Thanks, Chandra, for that question. The next one I had was from Karen. Karen asked, what should goals, when do we know when goals should be broad or when they should be specific? So I want to talk a little bit about broad versus specific. In general, I believe that broad goals are goals that we just haven't thought quite enough about. And so an example of that would be if you're trying to lose weight, for example. COVID has been tough on a lot of people. Will Smith right now actually has a hashtag running on his YouTube channel where he said he's in the worst shape of his life. He put a picture of himself up, like he has the guts and things like that, and he's trying to lose weight, right? Well, a broad goal would say, I'm going to lose weight, right? That's good, but that's more like the beginning of a thought. That's not necessarily a goal. And in general, broad goals don't really get you anywhere. They just get you thinking about a place that you want to head to, but they don't actually take you to a place that you want to be. So I have not checked back with Will Smith's YouTube channel to see what his specific goals are, but specifically what he might say is, my goal is to complete a 50-mile bike ride in 30 days and to train for that, right? So specifically, he can set up a plan to train to finish a 50 or 100 or 150-mile bike ride. And along the way, he can each day do 3 miles, 5 miles, 10 miles, 15 miles, 25 miles. There's steps along the way, right? But unless he sets a specific goal at the end, then how can he set specific little milestones and steps along the way? You can't really, because once again, back to that Seneca quote, if you don't know the harbor you're heading to, then it doesn't matter which wind you get. So I believe that all good goals are specific goals, which we talked about with the SMART acronym. The very first one is specific, right? And measurable. So make them all specific. And if you can't break it down to something specific, it means you just haven't used your imagination enough yet. If you don't know what it looks like, imagine what it could look like, what it could feel like, who could be there, what you could be wearing, how you could feel, how many times it did happen, just get specific on those things. So Karen, thank you for that question on broad versus specific. And then Anne is our third question today. And what she asked was, is there like specific systems we can use to get stuff done? What are some easy systems we can use? Now, I'm going to be a little silly here, right? But this is the best system that you have. And I'm not kidding, because we try and complicate things. We try to make things overly complex. We typically try and do things, that we think are going to make us not necessarily look smart, but I think maybe more feel smart. I'm not specifically, thinking of one system or applications enough, but one of the biggest things that we deal with today is distraction when it comes to getting things done. And that's not just like people distracting us. It often has to do with our tools and notifications and groups of things we're committed to going and checking in on that distract us the most. So I believe the best system you can use is a good old paper and pen or whiteboard or something along those lines. Push everything else aside and write down the big specific goal that you want to meet at the end of this month or at the end of this quarter, and just work backwards. If I wanted to, so let's see, one of the ones that I'm working on is there's a real estate business I work on, and I want to close 3 deals by the end of Q3, right? So if I want to close 3 deals, I know I got to talk to 100 people, which gets me down to about five deals, people I can talk to, and I'm going to rely on 3 of them to go through. And to do that, I know I need to email, social media message, text them and their relatives. And to do that, I know I need to spend 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week working in that. And so then I've got some steps I need to take, right? Well, that right there is a lot of stuff I just listed off from a very simple question of, hey, I want to close 3 deals and by end of Q3. So now I literally have milestones and some little tasks and steps along the way I need to take. All I need to do is write those down. And when I write those down and then I put them on a calendar somewhere, not a to-do list, not a to-do list. To-do lists are a vomit of tasks. They turn into a sludge, a stew of just stuff that you're doing and you're checking off just to say that you did it. I often tell people that you can reach massive, massive goals, create massive, massive impact, and you can do it in 4 hours a day. You don't need an 8-hour day to make massive impact, right? I actually, one of my goals is to not work 8 hours a day and make more progress than the people around me, because if we're just removing distractions and saying very simplified, what would happen is we actually find there's a lot of time in our day that we're wasting and not using. So to answer your question, Anne, that it's go back to paper and pencil and go back to a whiteboard and just write down what are your 3 big goals for the year, and work backwards for milestones and write them down and put them in your calendar and commit to doing them every day. And I'm going to step off. I'm going to show you something real quick, because I'm not just saying that. Okay. There's actually, although I do have a lot of different tools that I can work in, and I do like to work in, the thing that I rely on the most is right here. And you look right there, there's my primary tasks, 3 primary tasks. Okay. There's rituals. There's things I got to do every day. There's some rituals I had to specifically put down each day to make sure I get them done. Things I get to enjoy, some things I get to celebrate. What would I do over? And then look down here at the bottom. Secondary tasks. There's other things that come up, or other things I know I have to do for clients or for different people. But the primary tasks that I put in my day are the ones that are based on my goals. And those are the ones I check off. Those are the ones I make sure and get done. So it can be that simple. And it really should be. Shouldn't make things complex for yourself. Shouldn't make them hard. Okay. So that is our 3 questions for today. So if you have any questions for this AMA, what are some things you'd like to know about being more effective, being more impactful? How can I get more done? What am I missing? What am I doing too much of? Please let me know in the comments. I would love to come back and chat with you more about that, because once again, we are here to help you get more of the stuff done that you want to get done. It's very important. Being impactful in the things that we do, it's not just a hobby. It's something that we do with our lives, with lots and lots of hours of our lives, and we should be really happy and proud to do it, and excited to get up and do it. And that should be it. We should have a good time with it. So appreciate you guys tuning in today on this pre-recorded Impact Over Attention on Friday. All right. Thanks so much. We will be back next week, and look for the events on LinkedIn and YouTube. And if you have any questions, please let me know, and have a fantastic weekend. Thanks. Hey there. One thing we have found about successful businesses is they know how to set and crush goals. And I don't just mean go out and write something out and do it. There is a process to it, and it doesn't have to be tough. So how about you? But I will find myself working on things that's just a waste of time. They're not important to where I'm trying to go. Procrastinating because my to-do list gets too long. I'll even find myself discouraged just because it doesn't feel like I'm going the places I want to go. But it should be this easy. You should be able to set up your day each day with a worksheet and review your goals, and then make things happen. So I will be teaching a webinar. That's me. You know my face. This upcoming Thursday, May 13th at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. Join us, sign up, and we will show you in 60 minutes full of content how to crush